What's up, Purists? It's Bob from Purist Motorsports. I'm going to try to get the muffler straightened out on this car. Yeah, the tow guy didn't strap it down properly and the tailpipes ended up moving because the straps were pushing on them. So we got to move them back. Let's do that. Okay, I think you can see there the mufflers are not level with the ground, and they used to be. So the straps pushing on them made it, it pushed the tailpipes and turned the mufflers. So it just drives me crazy. That's got to be straight. And I've figured out a way to tow the car without, or strap it down without pushing on the tailpipes with the tow straps. So the panhard bar is what changes all of that. So let's lift it up and get it started. Okay, it looks better to me. They're more level with the ground, not tilted, and the tailpipe's mostly centered in that opening where they match. So that's that. So this next part of the video, while I was editing, figured I would debrief a little bit. All of the SA10s were custom hand-picked options by the first owner out of the Saleen catalog. I replicated that process with this car, number 4, the chassis number 4, to emulate as if I was ordering the car back in 1993, 94, and sought out all of the pieces over the course of several years to make it as if it were built in that time period. So that's a preface to this. You can go to puristmotorsports.com and check out like 9 or 10 years worth of blog posts about what parts are on it, when I found them. But I just wanted to preface that part for this part of the video. While I have the car up in the air, we'll talk about some of the options I chose that were, well, some of the cars had, other cars didn't at all. Panhard bar was supposed to be standard, I believe, for all of them. I know car number 2, car number 8 has this Saleen panhard bar on it. Car number 1 had one, and I know John McCauley, the first owner, and the well, he was the idea guy behind the SA10 project. They're all supposed to have this, but they may not all. I know that car number 1, car number 2, car number 8
have the panhard bar. So the panhard bar was supposed to be standard. I believe that was in the literature. The option I chose, car number 3, has the SC catback, which is this Dynamax catback, and it actually has the aluminized tailpipes on it. All the cars came with these tips, but I chose to put the Dynamax catback on it. I just like the sound of those mufflers. I love the way it sounds for a 5-liter. Flowmasters were big in the day too. Another option I chose, I don't believe any car came equipped with conies, but they were a catalog option, and I actually had a discussion with John McCauley. It was funny, we're on the phone before he passed away, and I said, I'm putting conies on mine. Oh, well, you couldn't do that. I said, well, yeah, you could. And I said, it was in the catalog. I said, now it may have been a little bit of a challenge to get them by Saleen, but you can get them. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. So none of the cars have conies, but I love conies. And Saleen used them on their race cars in 86. I want to say 85 had Bilsteins, but 86 had, the race cars had conies and the street cars had conies, and maybe some early 87. So panhard bar, coney shocks and struts, and Dynamax catback. Those are 3 options. Global West was a supplier for Saleen at the time, and let's see if I get there. Car number 5 has these control arms on it. Now, I had if you see it, I had the Global West team help me with these. We put the spherical end on the chassis side where it's a bearing and a sleeve, and then in the back end they did a custom bushing for me. You can see the spacers there, but they did a custom rubber bushing. This setup is best on a panhard bar equipped car with stock upper control arms. And then another suspension option I chose was the constant rate springs from the 87 to 89 cars. They're just a better handling as far as road capabilities. It's not as soft, as cushy, but the car is more responsive. To me, that's what I like. Others prefer the progressive rate springs from the 90 to 93 cars, but these are OEM Saleen constant rate springs from the late 89, maybe early 90. So I don't know if you can see them there. It's one of those where I may have to put a picture up to show you what they were. And then as far as having the rear end up in the air, you can probably see it. Let's see if we can get this one. Let's see. There are the tri-ladder subframe connectors, where Forest Day were great. I think now you've got things like Stiflers. Kenny Brown had a setup, I don't know, he may still have that offered, where it connects the subframe connector to the pinch weld. You can see I still need to paint the primer black, but it's a tri-ladder. There's three gussets that come from that tube over to the pinch weld. So both sides have it. See it here too. Only one car out of the 9 produced got that setup, and that's car number 5. Car number 5 has these tri-ladders on it, which at the time didn't have the seat brace. You could see the seat brace there. They've since added that, and I believe they've also it's a Global West product that Saleen offered their catalog. I know that Joe Kaczynski, the technician that built these cars, thought highly of the Global West stuff, and it is good stuff. It's very good. But there are also triangular gussets on those lateral supports. I don't know that the original design had those, so it's just as time has gone on, they've improved them. So I felt it was good to put on this car. So it's one of those things where this car was obviously completed many years after, 15 years after the others. So might as well take all the improvements. The underside is very dirty. There's still 110,000 miles worth of gunk on the underpinnings of this car. I need to clean it, but I enjoy driving it, so not so much wanting to keep it clean, because then I want to not drive it. So to recap, you look at the options. I put the 9091 SC catback, Coney's struts and shocks, which were available in the catalog, panhard bar, which I think they're all supposed to have, but I'm not sure of all of them. I would say that all 9 cars have it. We'll just say that they do. They're supposed to. Tri-ladder subframes and the Global West control arms and constant rate springs. Those are the items I chose for suspension. It has the other standard Saleen stuff, the K-member brace, and then your triangular strut tower brace. So this car is equipped with all of those options. Had I ordered it, these are what I would have done to it. And they're all period correct pieces. The Coneys were rebuilt. They're from the mid-90s, as close as I could get, short of really digging into it, but they're the correct part numbers. They're dated, I think, 96. They were rebuilt, and everything else is Saleen spec as far as rear suspension goes and brakes. It's their standard brakes for 93 Lincoln Mark 7 setup. I did put an Auburn differential in it. I was able to score one of those. So it's got 355 gears and an Auburn differential. But for today's antics, it looks a lot better. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me on this. Don't forget to like, tag, follow, and share. I really appreciate all of you guys following me from the beginning on this. Several of you have been a part of this adventure since I started the website, 2011. Wasn't quite ready to do video at that time, so this is fun. I'm enjoying all of the comments and questions, people hitting me up. But yeah, that's part of the options I chose on this car. We can go over the engine next time. I've got to clean that engine bay up, and maybe we could do a video of that and talk about what I did as far as options for it and the drivetrain. But with that, whether you're driving them or restoring them, always enjoy them. Peace.